Hi everyone, welcome to So Much Fun Holiday Market. This is the Wreath workshop. So my name is Michelle and I'm the events officer for the AC Hub. And today we are joined by Thalia of Maison Anthea. So AC is always connected. Tune into our virtual events like this one to help support local businesses and stay connected with the AC community. Before we get started, we're just going to share a couple of housekeeping items. So we ask that you please keep your microphone muted. However, we encourage you to turn your cameras on for the duration of the workshop. If you have any questions throughout the workshop, you can type it directly in the chat, and then I'll read the question for you to the facilitator. So we're actually just going to kick off the event with a question. So I'm going to ask that everyone open up the chat tab right now. And then I am going to ask the question, but don't send your answer until everyone's had a chance to type out the answer. So the question is this your first So Much Fun activity of the day? So for those of you who don't know, So Much Fun is today, and it's programming all day long. So we had a latte art workshop, there's a medicine bag, pouch workshop, there's a virtual holiday market. And if you've missed any of these, you can check out the algonquincollege.com/SoMuchFun website and rewatch. So if you can just type out your question, if this is your first So Much Fun workshop of the day, and I'm going to count down and we'll press send at the same time. Okay, so I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like most of you, yes, this is your first workshop. Perfect. Okay, great. So yeah, definitely check out the recordings of the other workshops. And then even tonight we have a tree lighting ceremony, so that's at 5 p.m. So everything's on the So Much Fun website. So I would now like to welcome Thalia. She is the owner and operator of Ottawa's Maison Anthea, a locally owned flower and event design studio in the heart of Ottawa. Maison Anthea are flower lovers who specialize in everyday flowers, weddings, and events everywhere that beauty takes them. Thalia will be leading us through creating our own 6-inch grapevine wreath with Christmas greens from the supply box that was shipped or delivered to you. So we ask that you have that ready, as well as a pair of scissors. And now, Thalia, over to you.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good afternoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prop my computer up so that you guys can see what I'm working on as we go. Just be one moment here. Secure this 1 second there. Okay, perfect. So everyone should have their kits. They all came tied up with all the product and with the ribbon. So we're going to be using the ribbon to finish off the wreath. So you're going to want to remove everything and put the ribbon to the side. Yeah, exactly like Michelle has there. And then you'll also have your twine, which was included. So yours is a darker brown, which matches the color of the grapevine wreath. So you'll have that. You can unwind it if you want, but it's also nice to use if you want to kind of like pull it out as you go, so just that it doesn't get caught. And then everyone has some different, mostly the same, but there's some variation. Also, some people got a gold one, some people got a red one. And then so some people also have, so this is a type of hydrangea. So we'll use this and we can either tear it into pieces, which I'll show you as we go. And then this guy here, which I think most people have, is a type of grevillea. So it's another preserved green, which is nice for Christmas. And I believe everyone has some bunny tail. I think it should be white. And then some people also have this product here. So you'll just kind of use what you have in your kits. And then I think everyone has some form of pine. I don't have any left at the moment, so I'm going to be using this guy here. And then lastly, there are berries. You guys have red ones. Those are rosehip. I'm out as well, so I'm going to be using these little orange ones. But essentially, we'll kind of be working with this similar product. So to start, I'll show you one second here. The idea is to cover half the wreath. This is just an example, but cover half the wreath with product, and then on the one side, we're gonna put a bow. So we're gonna start working from your right side, like so your right hand, and then we're gonna work our way up so the bow sits on the left side. Sorry. Okay, so this part here, you are like very welcome to just sort of be free to use whatever product you want, or you can sort of follow along the pattern that I'm going with, but it's whatever you prefer. And one thing that I like to tell people is if you're gonna snip down your product, don't snip it too short, or else I find that the wreath will look very sort of stubby. So it's kind of nice if you keep the stem a little long, that way it has some movement going through. So to start, I am going to grab some of my greens, I guess, and we're going to start on the right-hand side. So if you guys want to start with your pine, or you could start with your bunny tail, or if you wanted to start with this is the grevillea, it's really nice. It also has some movement and it's a little bit longer. And so you'll just place it in a direction that it looks like it sits really nicely. And this will be the sort of the beginning of your wreath, your dried wreath. So then you're going to take your twine and you're going to wrap it around, and you can pull pretty tight if you can. And what's cool about this twine, it basically locks itself. So once you twist it, cross it over each other and twist it, it's pretty secure. If you have a little bit of a lip like this, you'll want to take your scissors and just clip it off just so that it's not hanging out too far. If you don't, you can always tuck it in. It is brown, so you won't really see it. And then you'll start working away. So I like to pull it through and around. So here's what I'm talking about, where it gets caught. And then you'll continue to add your pieces like that. Another thing you could do as well to sort of semi-secure it is put it into your grapevine wreath. These ones here are quite thin, so there isn't too much room, but if you wanted, you could also do that to give it a bit of a different placement, and then secure it with the twine. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I can do my best to answer. Everyone's working. So the wreaths I made are a tad bigger than 6 inches. So you'll see you also don't have to, like, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably condense it to maybe more of like a quarter piece. But you could also still spread the amount of product over half if you'd like. So what's nice about the grevillea and some of the other dried pieces, you can break them apart and combine them with different things. So you don't have to just put the item in solo. You can take a little piece of, for example, the hydrangea, and then take a couple of your bunny tail. I like to use the bunny tail for movement because it's long. And I'll sort of pair a couple pieces in like this. I'm going to snip my excess off so it's not interfering with the base. And then go back around. And you can wrap around a couple times. Because the product is so light, you only have to do maybe twice at most. If you're doing something with like all heavy winter greens, you then have to spend a lot of time securing it and going around just because it gets really heavy. So I'm going to take another piece of grevillea, and don't be afraid to kind of remove the excess leaves. And you can clip it. And you can also change directions. Like if you don't want it hanging outwards too much, you can put it going inwards towards center. One thing that I was thinking I should have included after, and it's something that's accessible to you guys, would be pine cones. So if you have any outside, or if you see any on any of your walks, if you collected a couple pine cones, it would be really nice to put some into it. I think it would make it quite festive. It would be a fun addition. Okay, and then the berries that you guys got, there might be some little thorns on them, so just be careful not to prick yourself. They're rose hips, so they're beautiful, but they're quite feisty. So I'm going to put some of the berry in. And I'm a huge fan of movement. So obviously it's subjective to what style you like, but I really do like to kind of keep things a little looser and a little bit more organic looking. And then yeah, so you just continue following through. And what's nice about doing it on a grapevine, you can reuse it next year. If you find that the greens dry out, you could take it apart, get some fresh greens, and still use like the preserved product, which is really nice. Another thing too, I didn't follow that rule here. I like to kind of work in 3s and 5s and odd numbers. So again, it looks a little bit more organic. How's everyone's looking so far? Good. The pine, it probably already lightened up, just because I think it's been about a week and a half since Michelle's had the kids, but if it hasn't, it will lighten up and dry quite nicely. So this is another type of grevillea. I just don't have any more of the red guy that I gave you guys, so I'm going to use this as a substitute. Another berry, so I'm going to cut this a little shorter. So what's also cool that you could go out and do on your own, which is fun, is you could find grapevine, and you typically kind of see it like over fences, and a lot of people also have it in their gardens. And so these ones here and the ones you have, I handmade, and it's quite easy to make. So if you're looking to make like a larger wreath, you can make it on a larger scale. And as you go, you'll see like your half starts moving. And then if you hold it up, you can kind of see the movement and how it's sitting. So then this is essentially the bottom. We're working our way up. So I'm almost at the last of the product that I tried to grab about the same amount that was in your kit. Maybe I think I am missing a couple pieces, but so I'm going to stop here and I'll wait till everyone gets most of their product on. And also feel free to cut the twine. Like I've given you enough that you should be able to kind of do the half with it. But if you wanted to cut, if you wanted to make a knot and then cut it and move your product over in a bit of a different pattern, you could also do that. The pivot, the little red berries that you have are seasonal, and I went through with what I had gotten in quicker than I hoped, but they're a really nice little berry, and they dry really nicely and they get quite secure. I find that these berries here, when they dry, they will fall off. So that's why I really like using the rose hip. And you could even do something like this. Like this is, most of it is, actually all of it is product that I get, but you can also forage product, which is also a lot of fun. I'll spend some time trying to forage things that we have out just outside, like right beside my store, actually, we have clematis, which is what it kind of looks like, a little fuzzy ball on a vine, which is really pretty and it dries really nicely. So I'll typically forage that to make wreaths. And then some different foliages, like even some beautiful leaves that we have, they dry quite nicely. And you can experiment. Like I have done a little bit. You can put some of the product in glycerin to sort of preserve it. It's a bit of work, but it's fun to kind of work with what we have. This grapevine was sourced. Someone in Toronto, she foraged it for me on a larger scale, but it was really nice. So sort of keeping things as local as possible. The pine that you have also is local, which is really nice. And it's funny because it's so simple, you know, with just a few little pieces, you can create something so pretty, you know. So normally when I get to the top, because it's so lightweight, you don't need to really worry about overly going over it or securing it, but you'll go over and then you'll put it through and you'll loop it. You give it a bit of a tug and then you're going to do that again. So you're going to want to leave about, let's say 4 or 5 inches if you can. If not, no problem. I'm going to measure what this is. Yeah, let's say 5 or 6 inches. Then you'll do it again. And then what I'll do sometimes for this one, because it's so light, I won't do it, but I'll sometimes take like Gorilla Glue and I'll glue it on just to secure it. And that way it doesn't show too much of the mechanic side of it. And then I'll be right back as you guys work. I'm just gonna get a couple pine cones that I have, and I can show you what you could do if you wanted to add some pine cones. Also, another thought, you could also add dehydrated fruit. That would also could be really fun. I think smaller pine cones would be nice, or if you could find one that was like a little smaller and a medium size.
There's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
From a student. What is the best way to dry pine?
So if you drying it so inside it will just dry on its own and it'll get lighter. If you were to leave it outside, it would like the weather would dry it more slowly and it would probably maintain a little bit more color. But there's really no special trick. It'll just dry on its own.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Show you guys. So this is I have a piece here. So yours likely I think is probably a little bit drier than this piece here, but it'll get almost a little more fluffier, which is kind of nice as it dries. So it'll kind of create some more volume on your wreath. And it's really beautiful. So we'll just, and you can use, you could use almost like a sewing thread because it's nice. I do like the look when I've been putting pine cones in the wreaths that I've been making. I've been liking to see them with some movement. So you could take your thread, or if you have more twine, and then wrap it around the base of the pine cone and just secure it. So you're gonna start in the middle of your thread or twine so that you're leaving like two arms to hug around your wreath. And then if it has a little end, you can try and secure it in to the twine, or into the grapevine, sorry. And then try your best not to flatten any of the product that you have. So I'm kind of going through the grevillea here to get underneath. And I'll do the same thing on the inside. And then I'm just going to secure it around the same way that we twisted it at the top. I'm going to do it at the back. I'll do it 2 or 3 times. I think 1 pine cone is sufficient for this one actually. And I'm going to clip off the excess. And I know like a lot of the time it doesn't, it's like styling it does take a little bit of time to sort of give it the aesthetic you're looking for. But don't overthink it. I like to tell people not to overthink things. I find when you do, it's when it starts to get really condensed and it doesn't feel very natural, I guess. And the ribbon, I've been loving the satin ribbon. So I got it in like the deep burgundy red and this beautiful like old gold, and it's so pretty. It brings so much warmth. And I this kind of pulls some of the colors from some of the dark, like the hydrangea, and then I found that the berry was pulling some of the reds out. So it depends on how much twine you have up here. I always do like to try and cover my mechanics. So I'll start from the bottom, wrap it around once or twice. This is a 2-inch thick ribbon. And you really have the option. I'm going to just tie it in a little knot and let it hang drape down. I really like the modern look. So I'll do it once. And then I'll do it one more time. And then it should just drape. I'm going to have my drape behind the product. And just like that. I know if some of your edges weren't very clean cut, you can go over with kitchen scissors or sharper scissors and give it a straight edge if you'd like, or if you do like the unfinished look, you could also do that. I've seen some people doing this look here where they'll cut it to make it like a bow. So it's really nice. Really pretty. Yeah, and then the dehydrated fruit, which has been fun. This matches with the orange, but it'd be nice to have even apples. I think maybe would be nice in the one that you guys are making because it has more of the red. It will pull some of the red colors. And for hanging it, I've been seeing people put like another piece of ribbon over, which has been, I thought looks really nice to hang it. Or if you had a proper door hanger, I'll show you mine. So something like this guy here, I think I got on Amazon. I like the gold, which has been really nice. It'll sit nicely without damaging, putting a nail in the wall, I guess. And then you can also just put a nail in the wall and it would sit really well. And it's not too heavy at all. So it would sit really well.
I also just added your Instagram to the chat. I know you have a few more wreath styles on there for anyone who's looking for more inspiration.
Yeah, for some examples. Yeah, it's really nice. Like this one here. This one's for a customer, but I can show you. I tied the ribbon on the front and it hangs down and it's just a different aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it looks really nice as well. There's so many options. It's been so much fun. Like what I've been also loving is putting the product on either side and tying a bow down the middle. It's almost like a little bit more like Grecian style. I've been doing that a lot with the olive branch. But you could do the same thing with winter greens too. And you could also forage winter greens. I love encouraging people to forage as much product as they can, you know. I can show you guys a winter one that I made.
I'm not sure if anyone's taking the interior design program currently, but Thalia's a graduate. When did you graduate of that program?
I graduated 3 years ago now, so 2018.
Cool.
Yeah, and a lot I did work with a wedding company for a little bit with a really wonderful florist. She actually taught me most of the technical work that I know, but I also I self-taught a lot as well. I'll put this up here. And it's been so nice. I've been meeting so many people who are very crafty, and they also enjoy just making beautiful things.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, so pretty. Yeah.
And do you have wreaths for sale and floral? Like, is that, I know you do like weddings, but can just like any customer like walk into your shop and purchase?
Yeah, so right now, yeah, I'm open to come in. I have lots and lots of dried stuff, which I know a lot of people like to come and actually see. I don't have everything on my website just because there's a lot to photograph. But yeah, and it's fun. You can come in, and if you had, I'm going to sort of create a station where if you wanted to have a vase and you wanted to fill it, you can sort of set up and take your time and fill it. Because a lot of people have been coming in and doing that, and it's been really nice. Michelle filled a vase, one of her beautiful vases, with me as well.
Yes, I don't know if it's over there, and then painted it. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's so great.
Such a cool experience, like going into your shop, and then you also have like I think you carry like smaller gift items too, right? Like candles and.
Yeah, so candles, candle holders. I have a lot of really pretty vases as well, smaller ones for now. And yeah, just some small specialty items, which have been really nice. Yeah. What else do we have here? Yeah, these ones here, I'll share with you guys. I've been so excited about them. A maker in Texas handmade all these really pretty terracotta holders, and it took a little bit to get them over here, but they finally arrived. And they're so sweet.
Even the bowl, are those bowls in the back? I've been eyeing those.
The same thing, they're terracotta bowls.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one here, I put putty in the bottom with the intention to fill it with water. But yeah, this has been great too for centerpieces. And it's fun, like if you guys found a container that you liked, you could then design for it and design a Christmas centerpiece. Would also be a great idea.
Very cool.
I'm excited to see what everyone's wreaths look like. I'm going to go through here. Let's see. Oh no.
Yeah, if I know some people like might not be comfortable turning on your camera, but you can angle your camera down. Oh my gosh, it looks beautiful.
So pretty. Yeah, I love the pine. I should have incorporated the pine in mine, but that's okay. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, the bunny tail. I love it. It's like sporadically through. That's so pretty.
They look so good.
Yeah, they look so nice. And sometimes less is more. I know initially my sister had come in and she's like, that's not enough product. And I'm like, no, you'll see like what we'll do with it. So you can really stretch what you have. And if you want to clean it up, you can cut off some of the vine from the grapevine, or you can wrap it around. Oh, you can't see it anyway. You can wrap it around. And then next year, what you can do, if you want to use the same one, you could take it apart. And if you find it's a little bit dry, you can actually just spray it with like a mist. And it'll make it malleable again. And then it'll just slowly dry over the season. But at least you can maneuver it a little bit more. And you can also add to this frame if you wanted to make it a bit thicker.
I love your idea of adding pine cones or dried fruit, like apples would look so pretty with this.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it after, unfortunately.
No, these, when I received them, like I couldn't believe they're so gorgeous. And then it was so nice. Like well, it was our whole team who delivered most of them. I know some people are tuning in from Toronto or other locations, so we shipped those out. But just delivering them around the city, it was pretty nice to be a part of and dropping them off. Like they're so gorgeous. And if anyone wants to share photos of their finished product, you can tag Maison Anthea. I added Instagram, so you can tag me and then tag Algonquin College so we can then see them.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, Leah. And as mentioned at the beginning, this session is being recorded, so it will be added to the Algonquin College Student Services, I think it's called AC Hub On Demand website. So you can watch that back from the beginning. It'll probably likely be added within the coming days, the next couple of days. So feel free to check that out. We also have some more events coming up. So our next one is actually on, it's after exam, so it's during your break, but it's on Thursday, December 17th, and it's one of our third Thursday speaker series events, and the theme is on art in the city. So we're featuring 3 local artists. So there's a graffiti artist, an illustrator, who will be joining us on Zoom to chat about some of their pieces that you may have seen around the city on like different buildings, commercial buildings. There's large murals. So that is the 17th, and Leanne just added the link in the chat. So we would love to see you again at another workshop. If no one has any questions, Thalia, did you want to add anything, or I think we'll just wrap up?
No, other than this was really wonderful. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. It's been a lot of fun.
No worries. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And it was so great to see everyone and see some of the wreaths. So I'll close this out. But yes, okay, so the recording will be added. Thanks so much, everyone.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bye.